This year, the 68th Miss World will be crowned. She will join a legacy of women who have truly changed the world. The path to becoming Miss World has changed over the years, but in 2018, one of those paths starts right here. I'm Frankie Chenna, and welcome to Group 8 of the Miss World Head-to-Head Challenge. Today we have Bolivia, Slovakia, Cameroon, United States, Lebanon, and the Cook Islands. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Frankie.
How are you feeling?
Good.
How are you?
Well, yeah, it's really hot, but we're happy to be here.
I know, if I can give you a fan, then
Yeah.
I will try my best. Now, ladies, how have you prepared for the head-to-head challenge?
Well, what works for me is just to think about how I feel with every question, with every situation that you might ask us that's about me or about the world, about what's happening, and just feel and think. I don't try to memorize or anything because that doesn't work for me.
I completely agree. I think it's important not to come into this completely over-rehearsed or over-prepared. I think prepare the ideas and the topics that you want to cover, but just to speak from the heart and let the conversation just happen.
Great, well, whether you're prepared, over-prepared, under-prepared, the head-to-head challenge is about to begin. And it goes in two parts. The first is your video presentations and a follow-up question. And the second is the final question that you'll all have 30 seconds to answer. And after that, I'll explain how voting works. Let's first meet our first contestant from Bolivia.
My name is Vanessa Vargas. I was born in Cochabamba, the heart of my beloved country, Bolivia. When I was 4, I entered my first beauty contest. I still remember that it was one of my favorite feelings next to my family. My parents always encouraged me to experience new activities. Currently, I'm graduated from architecture. I really love my career because it allows me to create spaces where people can enjoy life. I lived in Zambia, Africa, where I started doing community service and I loved it. When I got back to Bolivia, I continue with it. It motivates me to be a better person. I believe that we are in this world to dream and to help others. Other way, there's no point in life. If there is something I know for sure, is that you can only find success with effort, dedication, and the willing of dreaming big and making your dreams come true. At the end of my life, I hope to be a reference of those qualities. Until then, I will live every experience in life as always, very passionately and with faith in God.
Bolivia, why did you want to live in Africa, and tell us more about what you learned there?
Well, actually my dad was transferred there, so I lived there for a year. I think seeing that culture that is so different to mine has helped me learn a lot. It opened my mind. It changed me completely because before that I thought I was the center of this universe, and I think that's what most immature girls are like. So living in Africa has helped me a lot. It also taught me to be more compassionate because I assisted a community service school, so I had the opportunity to go around Zambia. That's the country I lived in, and doing community service has really changed my life. Since then, I've dedicated most of my free time to do community service, and that's something amazing in my life. It also made me fall in love even more with my country, with my culture, because living in a different country makes you miss your country, makes you miss your culture, and I'm really happy I had that opportunity because that's why I'm here now, trying to represent my country the best I can do, and trying to show the world and to learn as well from other girls what I can do for community service and what I can do for the world.
Thank you, Bolivia.
Thank you.
I think we can all relate with missing home at least a little bit,
Yeah.
and as the days go on, I'm sure we're all going to be.
Yeah, it is really, really hard, but I think we all learn from that. It's a situation that makes you come out of your comfort zone, and I think that makes you grow up a little faster.
Thank you, Bolivia.
Thank you.
Next, we meet Slovakia.
Dobrý deň, I am Dominika Grecová, proudly representing the country where beautiful nature, hospitality and culture come together, Slovak Republic. I find my inspiration in my parents, whom I admire very much. Being a balanced, happy and generous woman, I spread a positive energy, helping others when they need it. It is important to feel positive. With this intention, I entered the Miss World competition in China. I am a law student. In the future, I would like to apply my knowledge to improve the living conditions of socially dependent groups. The financial law that I am studying should help me to educate and solve the financial problems of socially excluded groups. I enjoy sports and games. I like winning. However, it is not the most important aspect. It is trying to do your best and having fun in a process that counts. Solidarity is a basic concept for me. We can create a better life because we can help each other. We all need to have courage and believe in goodness. So let's contribute our share and make the positive change for people around us. See you all in Sanya!
Slovakia, what is your favorite sport?
I have always been a sports type. My first favorite sports as I was a child was cycling, which I still enjoy. Sports is a lifestyle of my family. I like swimming, skiing and skating. When I was at school, I like team sports very much, especially basketball or volleyball. I also have a little dog called Ducky. He is Yorkshire and I like walking with him, but this is more games that sport. However, I like winning. It is not important aspect, but trying to do our best and having fun in the process.
Absolutely. So volleyball, basketball, skating, skiing, swimming, cycling, you've done it all.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Slovakia. Our next contestant comes from Cameroon.
Je m'appelle Aimée Caroline Sekir, je suis Miss Cameroun, j'ai 22 ans et je représente mon magnifique pays au concours international Miss Monde. Dans la vie de tous les jours, mes amis me définissent comme une personne ambitieuse, souriante et dynamique. Le Cameroun est l'Afrique en miniature de par son multiculturalisme, sa biodiversité, son taux de tourisme élevé, ses performances sportives, mais surtout la bonté et l'accueil chaleureux de son peuple font de mon pays la destination favorite des étrangers. Malheureusement, tout le monde n'a pas la chance d'admirer ces merveilles. C'est pourquoi j'ai placé mon mandat sur la lutte contre la cécité afin qu'ensemble nous puissions donner une vue, une vie et un sourire.
Cameroon, tell us more about your fight against blindness.
Wow, it was amazing. My fight against blindness had happened to me when I didn't expect. He's come to I was in the trip for the iPod, and this guy's Henry gave me a help. Henry helped me with my luggage, and when I was give him a tip, I realized he was blindness, and I was like a shock, because when I see the guys who never give up, I realized that the world is beautiful, and then that pushed me to make it off all my project to find the blindness and thanks these guys.
Thank you, Cameroon. Thank you for sharing that very, very beautiful story, and thank you for your work.
Thank you. Yeah.
We've met our first 3 contestants, and now it's time to meet the United States.
Hi, my name is Marissa Butler, and my goal as Miss World America is to show young women across the world that you do not have to confine yourself to the box or label that someone assigns to you. Instead, I encourage young girls to be a modern-day Renaissance woman, a woman who is not held back by limitations, stereotypes, or labels. This is the type of woman I aim to be in every single aspect of my life, from being a 3-sport athlete, an academic, a conservationist, a singer, a woman in finance, an adventurer, and a beauty queen. I do not let one area of my life define me nor place limitations on other areas of my life simply because they normally do not go together. Instead, I follow my heart, I do the things that I love and that bring me joy, and I hope to spread this message of being unapologetically you to young women not only across my country, but across the world.
United States, in your video you said people don't need to confine themselves to boxes or labels. Can you explain this a little more?
Yes. I feel that young people, especially when they're trying to find where they belong in this world, they latch on to the first identifier that they're given, whether it's an academic, an athlete, a singer. But I think that the most important word that we should use to define ourselves is and. And shows that you have a desire to get to know who you are, but also who you can become. I love when people start to get to know me that they're surprised by certain aspects of my personality, from being struck by lightning to tagging sharks for conservation. I hope to show young people across the world that you can pursue more than one passion at a time, because I think that every single one of us deserves to have more than one dream.
I think I have to ask the follow-up about lightning, so
Yes.
please.
So I was doing everything your mom tells you not to do during a thunderstorm. I was in the 6th grade, and believe it or not, I was inside. I had the window open because I love the sound of thunderstorms. Maybe not so much now, but I had the window open. I had these big metal earrings on, just had gotten out of the shower, so my hair was wet. I was on my computer and the phone all at once, so just one big conductor waiting to happen. So the lightning came in through the window, and the way the doctors described it to me, because I didn't suffer from extreme burns, they said that lightning comes down kind of like a hand. So they said I got the pinky of it. So I was very, very fortunate because I didn't have any long-lasting effects. But a really cool thing that happened, my sister told me about this because obviously I was unconscious, was that we had this big old box TV in our home, and she went around to unplug all the electronics. But when she unplugged the box TV, it was still working because there was so much electricity that had surged into our house. And apparently the TV worked. You could change the channel, change the volume for a few hours afterwards. I obviously wasn't there to watch it. I was in the hospital. They were trying to monitor my body temperature to keep it cold. But yeah, so then the next day, my computer teacher brought me into class because my mom made me go to school the next day. And she used me as an example of why you shouldn't be on your computers during a thunderstorm.
My goodness. Well, we're blessed you survived to tell the tale.
Thank you.
And I want to hear more, but not enough time in this episode.
Yes.
So please let's chat after.
Of course.
And in the meantime, we will get to know a bit more about Lebanon.
مرحبا. From the pearl of Middle East, Lebanon. مرحبا. From my hometown, Baalbek. I am Mira Tufaili, and I am representing the Lebanese in the Miss World pageant. Unlike most children, I have had an unusual upbringing, which was not only eye-opening to the beauty around me, but the beauty in the little things as well. The beauty of my country, which I love to explore endlessly. The glorious scent and look of our traditional food. The magic of music, which takes me by the beat. The magnificence of man-made design, which got me to pursue a degree in interior design. The beauty in animals' loyalty. The purity of an orphan child, which is why I became a guardian to Rita. Today, all of this is my tribe, My motive towards creating a moral purpose for my life, challenging myself to stay a strong woman, able to defy any obstacle to achieving her goals.
Lebanon, in your video, you said you had an unusual childhood. Could you explain that?
As you know, Frankie, having a normal childhood is being surrounded by biological parents and siblings, growing up knowing that they will support you and guide you. For me, it wasn't the same. It was different because I was an abandoned child in SOS Children's Village, Lebanon, at age 1. A caring mother fostered me, and she taught me everything. She taught me what is love and how to love. As a child, I always cry and think my parents hated me to be able to ditch me. But over the years, I learned that I'm blessed, and I'm very lucky to be a part of such a beautiful and caring and loving community at SOS, which taught me gratitude and forgiveness and self-confidence, and most importantly, being compassionate towards left and abused children who needs you and who wants you to fight for their rights. Look at me now. I'm here. I was an abandoned child, and now I'm competing for Miss World pageant.
It's an amazing story, Lebanon, and it's a common theme in the head-to-head challenge that people can come from poverty or townships or discriminated backgrounds, or in your case, be abandoned, and to now be at Miss World. So congratulations.
Thank you. By the way, I'm very proud from where I come from, and I'm not shy to share my story with all the people and be like motivate. I can motivate them to share their stories and to be the voice of the vulnerable children now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lebanon. Our last contestant of this group comes from the Cook Islands.
Kia ora. My name is Rehana Kotekawiki. I'm 26 years of age, and I am proud and humbled to represent my beloved Cook Islands. An untouched paradise, locked away in the heart of the Pacific, a country bursting with culture, breathtaking landscape, and home to some of the most warm and hospitable people in the world. Born in Israel and raised in 7 different countries, I feel incredibly fortunate for my unique upbringing. Raised in a UN family meant that I witnessed many global struggles of adversity from a young age, but I also grew an early admiration for the beauty of people coming together for a common cause, to help those in need. Consequently, humanity and compassion have always served as fundamental virtues within my family, and as a result, I became passionate about various advocacies from a young age. This has played a huge influence in empowering me to advocate for raising mental health awareness here in the Cook Islands. Having graduated with a degree in psychology and a minor in Pacific Studies, it is a cause for which I am incredibly passionate about. I am so excited to be representing my country, the Cook Islands, at Miss World 2018 in Sanya, China.
Cook Islands, born in Israel and raised in 7 countries. Tell us about this incredible journey.
Well, I was indeed born in the Middle East and yes, raised in several countries, including Cambodia, Croatia, Kenya, Israel, United States, New Zealand. My father works for the United Nations in the area of international security, so it was his work that took us abroad. Moving around a lot meant that I had the unique opportunity to embrace and immerse myself in various different cultures from a very young age, and so I think that this is probably one of the most precious gifts that my parents could have given me, this opportunity to see the world and to embrace the world. And so my international upbringing is very much a part of who I am today. If there's anything that I could have taken from it, it's that As you know, every country is unique and special and beautiful, whether it be culturally or geographically, but fundamentally we all have so much in common. Love, family, compassion, hospitality, kindness. These are all things that emanate all over the world, no matter where you are. And so I was able to feel at home no matter where I was, much like I do here in Sanya, amongst all of you beautiful and inspiring young women.
Now, if I may ask, do you have a favorite place that you've been to or lived in?
Honestly, that is probably the toughest question that I could answer, and I've been asked it many times because every country has something about it that I'm constantly reminded of, or I'm constantly yearning for. Of course, I love my beloved Cook Islands, but I love everywhere that I've ever traveled to. I've had the privilege of traveling to over 45 countries in my lifetime, and everywhere I've been, I've kept something special with me.
Thank you so much, Cook Islands. And thank you so much to Group 8. What a diverse group, amazing answers, different backgrounds and ideas, and thank you so much for sharing those presentations. As you do all know, only one of you can advance to round 2 of the head-to-head challenge, and that is determined by a public vote. And there are 4 ways to do so. You can like the contestants' official Miss World Facebook pages, you can like their content on MobStar, vote for them on the Miss World website, and in China on Model Power Live. It's time for the final question. Now, you've all been given the question before the show. I'll read the question again and you'll each have a chance to answer. Cook Islands, we're going to start with you. Cook Islands, what is the most important issue your generation is facing?
Well, mental health is of a major concern. We're finding that people are experiencing some of the highest levels of anxiety, stress, depression, low self-esteem than any generation before us. And there are a multitude of factors that are playing into it. Education costs, costs of living, job opportunities. And with such a huge reliance on social media, we're seeing its effects on self-image, this need to achieve physical perfectionism, perceived wealth. But most importantly, within such an overworked and overstressed generation, people are failing to practice self-care, and they're neglecting to look after themselves. So this could be anything from physical exercise, spending time with your family, eating healthy, getting enough sleep. It's different for everybody. But I believe that it's important that amidst our busy lives to just stop, take the time to look after our mental health, because beyond our careers and beyond our finances, it's essentially our health and our happiness that's most important.
I think all it's about education and job opportunities. The job market is very tight now. One of the main reasons is that the colleges and universities are highly or quite costly. So our generation, they graduate and don't have the opportunity to have the job. So I think this is the most reason and the most issue in our society now for the new generation and young students.
Something that I have noticed, especially in my country and online, is a general lack of empathy and compassion towards other people. Earlier this year, I had received a phone call that was quite hard for me to take. My best friend was on the phone standing on the ledge of a bridge, and she was considering to commit suicide. And the reason she was there was relentless cyberbullying that she had experienced. And I think that people don't realize that when they're talking to a screen, that there's a person on the other side that has their own issues and life and problems that they're dealing with. My friend has suffered with this for years, and then she would get messages from people online telling her to kill herself all the time. And I think that we need to remember the golden rule that we were taught in elementary school, and that's to treat others the way that you wish to be treated. And that doesn't just apply to face-to-face interactions, that applies online as well. And I think that something we need to remember is that if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. Follow your mother's advice that you were taught when you were very little. And I feel as if there's so many kids running around this big that understands that concept way better than most adults, and that's something that really needs to change in our world.
For me, that issue our generation facing is social professional integration. For example, in the world, the statistic shows that 71 million of young have not a job. And I think we can help these young people.
In my opinion, is it ecology and the environment. We live in a consumer society and very fast. All of this has an influencer on the environment, but we have to protect it for the next generation. We all have to behave nature friendly.
Well, I think all the girls are right, but I really think that the main problem is the loss of values and principles. I think we are all like losing the value of family. Families now these days are separate. Education as well. Education is like in schools and everything. They don't teach you moral and ethic and the principle. The most important values. I really think we need to change that because that's affecting our world. Contamination, all the problems you can mention begin from there. I think we all need to change our lifestyle. We need to understand what's important in life, what really matters in life, and fight for a better world, fight to get the families together and get back to where we were or what we were before.
Thank you very much, Bolivia. And thank you to everyone. Excellent answers. I know when we talk about issues, it does sort of, bring the mood to a different place, but thank you for sharing your opinions on this question. You've heard their video presentations, they've answered the final question, and now it's time for you to decide which one of them moves on to round 2. And you can do so via one of 4 ways. And there are 4 ways to vote. You can like the contestants' official Miss World Facebook pages, like their content on MobStar, vote for them on the Miss World website, or in China on Model Power Live. And the contestant with the most votes will move on to round number 2. We're here at the Mangrove Tree Resort World in Sanya Bay, China. Thank you very much. And goodbye.